Hello, everyone. My name is Tim, and I represent the startup called FieldComplete. And at FieldComplete, we're basically on a mission to create on-demand home services in the United States. And what we mean by that is basically home services currently are slow and inefficient due to what we believe to be is a lack of proper software. And home services is currently split into basically two sections. There's basically the supply side and the demand side. The supply side is your local HVAC, plumbing, electrical, painting company or contractor. And half of these guys, 52% actually, still run their business on pen and paper today. And the other 48% basically are stuck with using 4 to 5 different solutions usually to run their business. So that would be like estimating software, scheduling, dispatching work out into the field, point of sale solution, and multiple communications portals for their source of work. The demand side is split into two. It's basically homeowners and renters. And these parties are experiencing their own issues. So on the homeowner side, they basically, when something breaks in your home, you need somebody to come out there quickly and repair it. And what they mostly fear is basically like unfair pricing. They're stuck with multiple people coming, giving them quotes. At times, it's in high season, it's really hard to get even somebody out to your house. There is really no one location where to go. Depending on your age, you're either going to Google or like call somebody that had an issue like this that you know of in the past. And even at the end of the day, even when they do come and estimate, you're still not sure if you're getting a fair shake, because you get 10 estimates, one ranging from like hundreds of dollars to thousands of dollars. And at the end of the day, you don't even know, the homeowner is stuck choosing basically on his feelings and not data. And then on the renter side, they outsource all of these issues to their property manager, and then sometimes property managers to insurance companies. Basically, the property manager side, their core business is leasing, and they have great software solutions around that. But usually, when it comes to servicing the properties that they are renting out, that's when they're really stuck still managing out of usually an Excel spreadsheet. And what they really need is, one, they need live job oversight of what happens on their properties, and two, they need a pool of vetted service providers that can actually do the job, that are applicable, that can work in that area and in that trade. And so what we believe is the right solution to all of these problems is to bring them all into one ecosystem. And we split this into two stages. The first portion of this is we've built a software solution for the service providers. It's trade agnostic, and we give it away for free for these guys to use. And basically, it's free up to 10 users. Then we charge a small fee for 11th user and above, but that's not our main monetization channel. And once they onboard onto the software solution, they start using the software. And as they're using it, a lot of these guys subcontract work out to each other. And as they do that, we onboard all of their network that they work with as well. And then we take this network of service providers that we have, and then that's when we moved into kind of stage 2 and establish the marketplace. We go to the property managers and we integrate with their leasing solution, or just give them a portal when they can like find these contractors and schedule out work. And what the property manager gets is on-demand workforce and live tracking into what happens on each job, basically, and instant reports. So this way their tenants are happy. And what we get in return is basically a volume of work, a volume of jobs that we feed right back into our network of service providers. And so now we're not just a software to run their business end to end, we're also a job source for them. And then from there, we leverage the data that we gather from property managers and the service providers, and we go directly to homeowners. And with homeowners, we can provide on-demand pricing through the data that we receive from property managers. Quick note about property managers. Property managers price their jobs with like 90% over, I think it was like 92% accuracy right now. And the reason why they can do that is because they have the data about the property. So they know what year it was built, what kind of materials were used, and then they basically aggregate that. They know how much labor costs in that region and how long approximately it's going to take. So they can estimate the job really accurately. And so what we do is we basically take that and we provide a price range to the homeowner before somebody even gets scheduled or dispatched out there to them. And again, in return, we get jobs and we feed them right into our network of service providers. So as far as the product, it's an end-to-end solution for the service providers to use, from estimation to basically price assess, scheduling work out in the field, work performed, payment collection, and feedback and reporting. It's basically all in one. And these guys, they come for the tool, they stay for the network, and over time, they'll basically come for the network and stay for the tool. And market size for home service is obviously huge, large TAM. And if we look at the competitive landscape in this space, it's split into two, usually. One side is always trying to kind of address the SaaS portion of the model, like the supply side. So there are vertical SaaS solutions. They're usually highly verticalized, and they work only with homeowner jobs. So we've solved for all of that, basically, where we can have a hybrid source of work from property managers from B2B and B2C. And on the traditional marketplaces side, basically, these are just basically lead gen platforms. So as a homeowner, when you're going to go in, like a Home Advisor, a Thumbtack, or Angie's List, one of these guys, you're basically going to fill out like a little form of what happened in your house. And they're going to take you as a lead and sell you to 10 different service providers. And then those 10 service providers are competing for your business. But what that does is it's just a bad business model, because it's good financially for some time, but then you have 9 losers for 1 winner every time. And so the service providers actually really dislike this model. What ends up happening, there's only a few service providers that do really good on these platforms, and then the rest, just after spending a few $1000s, just turn and leave those platforms. So on the advantages, basically, on the SaaS solutions, one, us being free is a huge barrier to entry for a lot of these companies, because they're seasonal businesses. And so they have high volumes and low volumes, and during low volumes, that's when they usually turn from software solutions that you have a high ticket per month. The job sharing network is obviously huge. Being multi-trade, we can actually basically have the job sharing network because we work across trades. We're industry agnostic. On the traditional marketplaces, our advantage is basically that we're never going to sell leads. We're always going to feed jobs and basically supply work directly, instead of having them basically go through chasing pointless leads. One of our other big advantages on this product is that we've built user acquisition into the product. Subcontracting happens in this field all the time. So if you're like a solar panel installation company, you're going to subcontract portions of your work out to a roofer or an electrician, let's say. And so with this subcontracting, it just happens through very inefficient channels, such as like fax or email. With us, whenever a job is sent, be that from a property manager or from one vendor subcontracting to another, it contains a sign-up link. It's basically like Dropbox or like PayPal, right? Nobody ever gave you a sales pitch on any of those companies, but we all know how to use them. So same thing here, because that was kind of like a forced action on you by someone you know, and that relationship is leveraged to basically them starting using our software solution. So when they receive a work, it comes through a link, and they have to report on that job and get paid through that link and through that portal. And that's where they're basically thrown into the self-onboarding flow. And because the software is free, there's no barriers to entry. They can start running the rest of their jobs and their business on our platform as well. And it really compounds over time, because most of the current players in the marketplace, they basically have to make an individual sale every time. Whereas for us, one property manager interacts with anywhere from 25 to 200 service providers. We actually talked to one property management vendor in Atlanta, and he manages a spreadsheet of over 4,000 contractors. And it's done via a spreadsheet, because during the high season, it's very hard to find somebody out there to send work to. And then the service provider, the second kind of the middle portion of that, they process anywhere from 35 to 300 jobs per day. And that means like physically going into 300 homes at times of these companies, sometimes even more if they're working across a few regions. And so with most of these companies, a lot of them are one-off jobs, and they basically, once they make that sale, that person is done with. with us, we can basically upsell that homeowner or that tenant for more services, such as like landscaping or pool services or any other service inside the home. And so he could be coming back to our portal, and we could recycle basically these homeowners and tenants that we spent basically zero marketing dollars acquiring. And then as far as go-to-market regions, we're basically targeting mostly markets where Wall Street invested the most money into SFRs. That's where service companies basically thrive. And so Atlanta is the biggest market for that in the past 5 to 10 years. So that's our kind of first market. And then from there, we go into the subsequent markets following Wall Street money, basically. So in summary, basically, we start with providing a great software solution for these service companies to run their business. It's free. From there, we basically establish a B2B marketplace by integrating through API integrations with property managers. Then we roll out the direct-to-consumer marketplace, and then we just replicate that into other markets. As far as team, we believe we've put together a great team in this. My co-founders have combined over 40 years of experience in home service space. Like Roman, for instance, he built over 100 homes by senior year of college in Atlanta, actually. And basically from there, we also added a few advisors and other team members to our team to really scale this out. And in short, basically, the way we look at this space is, as I said, again, there's supply and demand, and there's a gap in between. And that gap, there's communication and finances flowing through that gap. And we want to control that gap to basically use all the communication for product distribution and all the financial flow for monetization. And we basically monetize on financial transactions that go through our platform. And that monetization does not go to our service providers. We basically have a cut with the payment processor to where we have revenue share. As far as connecting with us, Slack would be one direct message to me. We are in the middle of a raise. It's a 2 million raise. You guys can also email me at founders@fieldcomplete.com or find me on social media or Slack if you guys would like to ask more questions or dig deeper into the business model and to take an extended look at the platform. Thank you, guys.